Welcome back to On the Block, guys. It's our NBA season preview. We have Igor on the phone. We got Ron Davis and Lamar Grant. Let's start off with the champs, Cleveland Cavaliers. J.R. Smith finally signed back. Any reason that the Cavs can't lock up the number one seed, or you think it's pretty much a fix?
I think nothing's a fix. I mean, they're probably the favorites to win it, but hey man, there's another 82 games ahead of them. Like, a lot of things worked in their favor to help them win. Yes, they had the best player in the world, but I don't think anything's is a lock. But we'll see, man. It's good for them to have JR back though too, to lock up that core.
The only team I could picture getting first over them, and that I don't even really think they're going to do it, is probably Indiana. If they could do something, I don't know how they're going to gel or how they're going to work or how Paul George is going to play, but if it's not for that, for first place, it'd probably be Cavs.
What about Boston?
No, they're good, but they're not going to be first. They'll do good. I'm
think
more
Indiana's still better than Boston?
I'm more like I like Boston because they're one of those teams where I can picture them picking it up in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So I know they're going to make it there, but then I really push them in the playoffs. Like, that's where I can see them doing some upsetting things, you know?
Yeah.
But as for season and rankings, it doesn't matter if they're 8th or 1st, I believe in them. So first place, I would say Cavs, and if Indiana does something, and Paul George, because he said something about this is his year for MVP, so if he plays properly...
George has got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, so if he does something, then that's the only team I see.
Igor, Cleveland?
Yeah, I got to say Cleveland keeps first place. I can't really see anyone at the moment passing them. I think they're gonna rest a lot of guys toward the latter half of the season, but I think by then they'll be so comfortable that they can afford to do that. I mean, if you look at it, it's another year for that core to grow together, and I don't see them taking the foot off the gas and not keeping first place in the East. Too much depth. The only way I can see that not happening is if something like a catastrophic injury to LeBron keeps him out for months or something like that. But I think they'll close the first place.
All right. So we talked about Toronto last time. We still got to talk about. I want to do Toronto, Boston, and Indiana. Those are really the only. I guess that's a different echelon because those teams are going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a dogfight. Jared Sullinger is going to be out for an extended period of time. Guess is going to be around Christmas time, just off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. Foot surgery, not a good thing, especially for a guy with that much weight. Yeah. How do you guys think Toronto, first off, is going to cope with this injury? Who's going to step up for them?
Well, I'm not really a fan of Toronto. I want that when I look at them, I just hope. I like DeRozan. I root for him. I like his loyalty. I like how I don't really see him out. I see him just doing what he needs to do and he's focused. So I just hope he plays as well as he did on the USA team to start off anyway. I hope that they don't fully digress. The coach I kind of like also, but as for I don't think they're gonna do anything. Like, if I see Sullinger getting hurt, and I hear people, even at the gym, I hear people like, oh no, about Sullinger. Sullinger's a good player, but if you hear oh no about Sullinger, your team isn't really going to do anything that year, to me anyway. So that.
How do you feel, Ron?
I think Sullinger's definitely going to affect them slightly. I mean, he was the Raptors' major offseason acquisition, who's now going to be on the bench for the foreseeable future. I think Siakam's going to step up. They're definitely going to put Siakam in the starting lineup. Patterson's obviously the person that most people would put there, but he's best served coming off the bench. We've tried it before. Like, the Raptors have tried it many times, putting him in the starting lineup. It just doesn't work. I think it's really good for the young buck Siakam to be thrown to the wolves. He seems like he has a lot of good pieces right now, and him being in the starting lineup, getting thrown at all the top 4s and 5s in the league is just going to make him better. Or it's going to break him, and then he's just going to wash out. But either way, we'll see what happens. But I'm sure the Raptors will be all right. Like, the Raptors are not going to fall anything lower than 4th or 5th spot in the East anyways. I don't see that happening.
Igor, thoughts?
I have the Raptors finishing 3rd. I think Boston will overstep them to take 2nd seed. In terms of the roster, I mean, I think the one guy that I'm watching out for to take another step and just to try to get into that that all-star level is I think JV can possibly do it this year. I think that's still going to be the major key for them. I know Norman Powell, Siakam, other guys to watch out for, but I think the Raptors, last season, kind of plateaued. So I basically see them falling a little bit, but I see a couple of the younger guys making some sturdy progression. But I don't think they'll finish in 2nd. I'm going to take them finishing 3rd, and while Boston will take 2nd place.
I guess the Raptors are going to be, with this injury especially, forced to play some small ball lineups because we know that they don't want to play Poto too much.
Yeah.
And with Van Vliet making the roster, I totally agree with you, Igor. JV has to have a huge season. And in the preseason, I know it's preseason, but he's done a pretty good job. And I think the playoffs last year, that boost of confidence before he got hurt, really the team has faith in him now. They're going to need him going forward because, like I said, I was watching that Washington preseason game with the Raptors, and they were saying that the Raptors were second lowest scoring team in the NBA. So now you're going to lose a guy who's, Sullinger's probably going to give you at least 12 points, 8 rebounds off the bench. They're going to need to make up for that. Norm Powell, I think, steps in and has a big season. I'm not sure how big, but he's going to challenge Terrence Ross. They're going to be going at each other. Just, like with some scoring for both sides. They're going to need it.
I think one thing about Patterson, since you brought him up, I think the one thing I don't like about Patterson, he's only a shooter for a big man, right? I don't mind if a big man can shoot, but that's almost what he does. To me, when Biyombo was there, and because he was such a beast down low, it kind of hid the fact that Patterson wasn't a guy down low rebounding. Now, since he's on the second unit, and Biyombo's not there on the second unit to come off the bench, I think he's really going to get exposed, and you're going to see that like just shooting threes are not going to do much. And I don't even know what big guys we have other than Valanciunas that's going to... Well, the new kid could probably whatever, but rebounding is going to be an issue. We gotta and if you said also, I think you said off camera that they were fourth defense, which is what helped. But defensing has to do with rebounding and controlling the ball kind of stuff.
Losing Biyombo's going to hurt on defense as well,
A big
right?
part of that was Biyombo.
Yeah. So that dropping, and I don't really see much of your offense unless Carroll can completely do what he did in Atlanta. I just don't. I just see them going down.
And he still doesn't even look that good.
And I was going to say the thing with I think that. Carroll, what's going to help, he's going to have to play 4 against, in some of these lineups. When, you go against Carmelo, he's going to play the 4. Maybe Paul George will play the 4.
Yeah.
The Raptors are going to need him to play at that position for them to succeed. 2 things, though. I want to talk about Boston real quick. You said that, they're a playoff team, and I totally agree. They have the guys that are built for playoffs with Bradley and Crowder and all these guys. They have so much depth that I think that this is really going to help their team going through because, their starters and their bench are pretty much same kind of caliber guys. And then with Indiana, something to look forward to is they made a coaching change, and they lost their previous coach, and now they're going with Nate McMillan. So they went from a defensive to an offensive kind of set. So it's going to be interesting to see them put up these points and change and see if they take time maybe to adjust.
I think it will take some time, and every coaching, I don't like. I mean, in history, every team that's changed their coach, they've gone through some growing pains in the first little while. I think. I don't know. I liked Vogel. I thought Vogel.
He's a solid coach.
Yeah,
Orlando picked him up nice.
Yeah, I thought he was, which is a really good look for Orlando. I think he was solid, and I think he maximized. Paul George, he progressed into a superstar under Vogel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Man, he had the injury, but a lot of those guys, he maxed out a lot of his players in the sense that I feel like he brought the best out of his guys, except for Roy Hibbert when he kind of when he hit that slide. But Vogel brought them out, and I think that coaching change could be the one thing that may prevent them from passing a Cleveland. But if they have it all together, Indiana's a dangerous team. Nobody's trying to see Indiana.
From those days when Miami was going, and Miami and Indiana in those Eastern Conference final. Igor, thoughts on Indiana?
I like Indiana in terms of I think they'll progress. I really like Miles Turner. I thought he was, besides Paul George, I think he was really the Raptors' killer in that playoff series. The coaching change, again, I actually agree with you guys because I like what Vogel was doing. Besides that, that mental lapse he had in Game 5 with Paul George there, I thought they were going to progress. And they added a couple nice pieces. So I see them as a team that's going to be better than they were last year and finish. I would say I'm going to take them at about 5 in the East right now. So I think they'll be a good team. I don't see them matching Cleveland. I think someone said that they were going to try to go on par with Cleveland. I can't really see that, but I can see them definitely improving over last year and then being a legitimate threat in the playoffs, but just not at this level in terms of with Cleveland.
All right, Igor, so you said you have Cleveland at 5 then, so which begs the question, Indiana at 5. So Cleveland's first, Toronto and Boston either second or third. Who's that 4th team then?
I think Charlotte's going to be pretty good. I think Charlotte is starting to make some progression. I think Charlotte will be someone to take a look at. And I also had other. There's always we were talking about it a little bit last week off camera. You don't know what the Knicks are going to do. You don't know what Chicago's going to do. I think the Knicks are a bit of a wild card, and we mentioned it over there. So I'm taking it in the fact that I think that Charlotte's going to finish ahead of Indiana. Just a gut feeling I have. I think Kemba Walker's going to take another step up. I think that they have a good, young, solid team. I think they'll finish ahead of Indiana. And then again, there's the Knicks. There's a couple other teams that are, I think, you don't know what Chicago's going to do with D Wade. I think the one team that's going to drop significantly significantly from last year and where they finished is gonna be Miami. I see them not making the playoffs, but it's pretty wide open in the Eastern Conference for the most part. I think there's a good 1 to 4 is pretty close up, and then from 5 to 8. It could really be a lot. There's also Milwaukee. Forgot to mention Milwaukee. Milwaukee's going to be pretty good. Yeah. So it's really open in that Eastern Conference. There's a lot of teams that can make the playoffs, and a lot of teams that can slide depending on how they start the season and how they progress throughout the season.
Well, Charlotte picked up Roy Hibbert, who we were just talking about, which is going to be interesting to see him and what kind of shape he's in and how he's going to do. They retained Batum. They still got Kemba Walker. Kid Gilchrist, we're going to see if he's actually going to stay healthy for a season because he's one of the best defenders in the league. Bellinelli, Harrison, and Marvin Williams also came back. So Jeremy Lamb, they have a decent team. They always play defense. They get their defensive boards. They limit the transition.
I just want to go off of what Igor just said. I would be surprised. I'm not going to do any guarantees. Like when I guarantee, I guarantee. But I would be very surprised if Toronto gets a better record than Indiana. I just can't. I just don't see. I don't know how they even won that series. But now Indiana looks even better. George is now talking confidently. He's not coming in all whatever. And I see that Toronto have lost players and gotten worse. And with the last thing with Carroll is that what people are not understanding, which I feel bad for him, like when LeBron torched him in the playoffs, is that they think that because when he was on Atlanta and he did good against LeBron, it means he was like the LeBron stopper. It wasn't that. He was a very good defender, and the way that the help defense and team defense with him there was a beautiful thing. Toronto doesn't have that, and LeBron made him look ridiculous. So if they try to put him on an island again, thinking Carroll's our stopper, I
think we saw last year in the Eastern Conference final that he was not their stopper. There was that blow-by-dunk baseline where he was hurt,
right?
So
he was hurt too.
Yeah.
And this is LeBron we're talking about.
Exactly,
this is the best player in the world. Nobody's shutting down LeBron one-on-one.
But what he did when he was on Atlanta, he made LeBron look. But he was held.
Like you said, though, it wasn't
a joke.
No, it wasn't. But it's completely different than how he looked last summer. But who's that young buck on Detroit that gave? He was giving LeBron a little bit of trouble, man. That's that young buck, that rookie from last year.
It wasn't Pope Caldwell.
No, he looks no. He's the one with the fro. He looks like the other rookie from.
Oh, Stanley Johnson.
Yeah, Stanley Johnson.
Yeah, Stanley Johnson's nice.
That's probably the closest I've seen anybody be able
defend
to
him well, and he's a strong guy.
Exactly, contain LeBron one-on-one. Because when you're talking about superstars, you don't contain superstars. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get off no matter what. It's just a difference between is he going to get 33 plus or is he going to get 33 or less? And if you get 33 or less, if a superstar gets 33 or less against you as a defender, you probably did a pretty good job.
No, but even if he scores 40, just don't let him walk into the paint.
Oh, yeah,
I don't care if he hits difficult shots or he does difficult things, then he earned it. Yeah. But the point is, don't let him just walk around to the point where him and his team can go off. And one more thing I want to say, everyone always makes fun of me. Not always, but they bother me for saying it. But to me, honestly, when James Johnson was guarding him in the playoffs, LeBron didn't walk by him the way he did things. Yeah. In fact, it was almost looking, and I was pointing it out to people I was watching it with, that when Johnson was coming in, they would sub out LeBron, not like they were scared or nothing. Mm-hmm. And then when the rotation switched and James Johnson came out, LeBron would come in and just start torching Carroll again. Yeah. But what's his name? James Johnson was defending him very well. LeBron wasn't bodying him. There was no post work, and
that's not crazy at all. I think that was obvious. Yeah. I feel like people shouldn't be laughing at you for that.
I don't know why they got rid of him. Like just to have him there on the bench just for something.
I think it must have been some off court stuff.
Yeah, there's rumors that he was a knucklehead. I've met him a couple times and he was always a cool dude. But the rumors were there was always stuff happening off the court or behind the scenes with James.
Remember the free James Johnson?
The free James Johnson. He's a fan favorite.
The conditioning was pretty terrible. I mean, I don't think they want an older guy, especially with a lot of rookies coming in. They don't really want an older guy that doesn't look like he's putting in the work, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about some teams that are on the bubble because we had Cleveland, Toronto, Boston, Indiana as kind of shoo-ins in those top 4 spots. But we have New York, Washington, Atlanta, Chicago, Milwaukee, Charlotte, who we talked about, and also Detroit. We'll go through these teams quickly. Obviously, New York and Chicago had some overhauls. Yeah. So we'll start there. We'll start with Chicago actually, with D Wade and Rondo coming in. They're a mystery, right? We don't exactly know how they're going to do. Jimmy Butler's still there, Taj Gibson, and Robin Lopez, who I'm a big fan of.
They still got Mirotic too.
Yeah, they got Mirotic.
That team's a big wild card team, man. That's a winning pedigree team right there. And you've added 2 other players who also have championships. Mind you, they've lost a lot on their team, but all due respect to Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is injury prone. Rondo, at the worst, Rondo's a lateral move, meaning that you're not going to win or you're not going to lose. But there's a good chance that Rondo could be an improvement. You know what I mean? Jimmy Butler, He's gonna feature. There was issues.
McDermott had a good finish.
McDermott, I'm not really worried about Chicago at all. They're gonna.
Do you think they'll get in?
To the playoffs?
Yeah.
For sure.
I told you guys when we talked about I like Chicago. It's just the players aren't fully done. It's just how they're going to behave. Like Rajon Rondo, he's not old. He can still do something.
Yeah.
Wade is not old. Yes, he acts like he wants to rest his body and everything like that. But if he comes together and Rondo comes together, even Michael Carter Williams, who I don't really like, I've never really liked him.
Another guy who can't shoot.
I don't even really like him. But if he could like do something off the bench, and do something, he was like a walking triple double in Philly. So if he could do something like that, and maybe they could get a signing, because I thought they were done and they even got that done. If they could get something before trade deadline, I just don't see how they could, like why people are just saying, people are almost talking like this is just for fun. Like they can do something.
This is the thing. Their starting lineup can't really shoot, right? Like Jimmy Butler's probably their best 3-point shooter, and he's maybe a league average guy. But you got Doug McDermott who can shoot the three. Mirotic, who's a pretty good 3-point shooter, at least average, and Bobby Portis, who's extended his range out to 3-point. I really like his game as well, power forward. Igor, any quick thoughts on Chicago before we move on?
Well, I mean, I think it will all depend on. I think the thing with the Bulls is that if you look at it, if you think it's Dwayne, I don't think it's Dwayne Wade's team. Even though I understand the whole, he came back to Chicago, hometown kind of thing. For them to be successful, it's got to be Jimmy Butler's team. And I think the offense has to. Again, it's all going to depend on how Rondo meshes and a few different factors. I don't think they're a lock for the playoffs because again, like I said, to me, 5 to 8. To 5 to 10 in the East, it can be all jumbled up. I think it all comes down to Dwayne Wade's health, how Rondo meshes, and how basically the coaching. I think the coaching has been a big factor the last couple of years since Tom Thibodeau left. So I think that'll be the key issue for them is if they can play a style where they can compete. I thought they were going to make the playoffs last year. I thought they had a good enough team to do that, and they didn't do it. So it's a really tough team to gauge, especially considering, again, they're getting Dwayne Wade at the twilight of his career. There's a lot of questions there. I don't know. I think they'll be borderline 7th, 8th, 9th place type of team.
I just want to say one thing. Everyone keeps saying this, and I just want to make sure I'm clear. I don't agree. I don't think talent-wise that Butler is better than Wade. I think Wade is aging, and his body clearly breaks down. And so to say that it's Wade's team when you don't even, he's obviously not going to be there as long as Butler can be. And he's obviously, you don't know if he can play as many games as Butler can play. So in that case, yes, it's Butler's team. But if we're talking talent, to me, and Wade's healthy and Butler's healthy, and you're in a Game 7 series in the playoffs and stuff, I'm giving the ball to Wade, me personally.
Yeah, of course.
So that's just what I want to say.
We got to go through some teams quickly. We don't have much time. New York Knicks, we got Derrick Rose starting, Courtney Lee, Carmelo, Kristaps, Joakim Noah, and then the bench is kind of thin. Kylo Quinn, we got Plumlee and Sasha Vujicic, very thin on the bench, and Justin Holiday, right? Knicks, playoffs, yes or no? And if so, what kind of seeding do you think? Do you think they're fighting to get in?
Fighting to get in. They'll be in the low. I think they'll be in the low spots, like 7, 8 at best.
I don't know where they'll be, but I definitely think they're making it. Yeah,
I think they're the biggest wild card in the East. I think.
I like the Jennings pickup too. He might start. Like Derrick Rose is going to come back, but the thing with Derrick Rose obviously is injuries, right? And at least you know if Brandon Jennings is going to come in, he can actually take hold of the point.
Yeah.
Igor, quick thoughts on New York? Make it quick.
I think it'll be entertaining. I think they'll make it. I can see them finishing 8th and playing the Cavs in the first round for like a nice, entertaining series.
All right, 3 teams we're going to run through real quick. Washington. Lamar, this is your team, so I'm gonna let you take the lead. It looks like Brad Beal might be healthy for the first time in his life.
No.
No.
them and Washington and Celtics were my teams. The Celtics continue to be for a couple of years now. I liked the way they improved and everything, but I'm not a fan of Washington. I don't like the way Beal and Wall have been playing together. I don't like how Beal's always hurt. I can't trust that team. When Pierce got there, I thought that was even more special, but everything that they've done management-wise, I just don't. That team isn't going upwards.
All right, Ron, talk about the pickup.
Man, Jan Mahimi is a huge pickup, but honestly, it's not even about Jan Mahimi who I'm concerned with. That kid, Kelly Oubre Jr.
Looks nice. I like him.
That kid looks really good, man. Like, he looks really good. And Otto Porter, who gave DeMar a lot of trouble. And he's just long. Like, he can shoot the 3 now. Like, he defends. Like, he's good. I think Washington will definitely be a playoff team. How far they go, I don't.
We want to know the playoff spots. That's the only thing. It's going to be tough. Igor, Washington.
I like the team. I really do. To me, it's what they can get out of Wall. You know what you can get out of John Wall. They need a full season of Bradley Beal. They have a lot of potential. They have a lot of pieces. I like Gortat. like a lot of pieces that they have. They need a full season from Bradley Beal because in terms of that, they have a lot of potential, but they're seemingly always injury prone with a couple of key players always drags them down. I see them as a playoff team if healthy. If not, they won't make it.
Arguably the best backcourt in the East too. Arguably.
Yeah,
They're not. But
Well,
if they were healthy, you could argue that.
I just wanted to point out, Brad Beal was out for, I want to say, at least half the season last year, and it came down to they only missed the playoffs by 2 games or something, right?
And he still got paid.
I think Detroit doesn't get in. Just to touch on them real quick, I think Detroit is out this year. I don't think they're going to make it, especially with Reggie Jackson is going to be out for at least 2 or 3 months. It's going to be a big loss. But I'm with Ron. I really like Kelly Oubre. Trey Burke's a solid backup point guard. They picked up Andrew Nicholson too. They got some guys off the bench. They lost Nene, but they got some nice pickups.
But Nene was injury prone too, anyways. And
he was also a Raptors killer in that playoffs. Everybody's a Raptors killer, right? Everybody in the playoffs. Milwaukee. I know that a lot of us are big on Milwaukee. How do you guys think? That starting lineup looks kind of scary.
They're gonna be in the playoffs, and that's Jason Kidd's. That's make or break.
That's his baby. That team.
Exactly. So he's got to win with his team. I think they're definitely making it to the playoffs. Giannis is gonna grow. If Jabari can stay healthy, he's gonna grow. That's a scary team, man. That's
record-wise, they may not show it, but I guarantee they're going to do something good in the playoffs. I don't know what.
They play defense.
Yeah, I just like them. I really like them, man. So I don't know about what they're going to be their standings is, but if Toronto plays them, it's over.
I love Giannis and Jabari Parker, also a guy that got slept on, went second overall after Wiggins that year, but he can play. They got Teletovic, Miles Plumlee, Dellavedova. As a point guard, you could do worse, I guess, right? He's not there to score, but he has that championship experience. That's for sure.
That pedigree.
And Jason Terry's still kicking around in this league. Got a deal.
The Jet, he's still getting up there, man.
And when they traded Carter Williams, they picked up Snell. Chris Middleton's going to be also a huge loss, right? We know that's going to be a big loss. How long was he out for? Probably till January.
Okay. That's fine. Then he has a month to get in and playoffs, and then he does his thing.
They got depth. You got Thon Macker, John Henson, Greg Monroe still on his team, right?
Was a great draft at that point. I don't know. I think
Igor, we talked about you and the Raptors not reaching. You would have liked to see that region. So would I, right?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the one that's going to shake my head that they took Thon over Thon Maker because from the looks of it, I think Thon might, I don't know about it being this year, but the next couple of years, that's going to look like a major fast pick for the Raptors.
Yeah.
Lastly, of the playoff teams, I want to touch on Atlanta. I'm going to say it like I do every time. Big Dwight Howard fan. I think he's going to bounce back this year. I think he finally puts it together. And they're bringing back pretty much their entire team except Jeff Teague and Horford is a big loss, but I think it's a wash with Dwight Howard, at least with the numbers. You guys think Atlanta gets in?
I can see them getting there.
I don't see New York or Chicago getting in. That's why I think these teams are going to get in. I just want to clarify, but I do think Atlanta gets in. Dwight Howard, Millsap's probably the best best small forward behind LeBron James in the East. Right,
yeah.
He's one of the better players. Kyle Korver's still there. Schroeder is a big question mark, right? They lost Teague, and Schroeder was one of the best backup point guards in the league. But now, putting him into that starting spot, it's going to be tough. Igor, what do you think about this?
Well, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of what Dwight's been doing over the last few years, but to me, they have enough talent to make it in. I think losing Al Horford, losing Teague. I like Schroeder. I think Schroeder's going to be a good player. He was basically made Teague expendable in their eyes, at least. I don't still see Howard getting back to the level that he was a couple years ago. I think he's been on the decline mostly. And everywhere he's gone, whether it be the Lakers and he had his issues with Kobe, whether it's been in Houston with Harden, the last couple of years just hasn't been good for him. Is he a guy that has the talent to recover from it? Sure. But do I see it? I don't. Do they have enough talent to make the playoffs? Yeah, I guess. But they're not going to be. It's not going to be like the Atlanta team we saw, a couple years ago where they were finishing, the top seed in the East or anything like that. I think they'll be a 6-7 seed at best. And that's if everything goes well. If things don't go well early for Howard and he starts, go to the media or starts showing on the court, it's a team that could implode and not make it. Yeah. So again, a lot of question marks there.
The only thing with Atlanta, Atlanta ran I think they had 60 wins that year. The East was very weak, right? The only reason, Atlanta can still be close to that team, I think so. It's just that everybody else got better, right? That's the thing. Everybody else got a lot better. But I still think, to me, Atlanta could push for the 5 spot. I honestly have faith. They built a winning culture. They have a good coach with Bud.
They do. They got a great coach.
I think the teams that are going to be fighting is Chicago.
Chicago and New York are going to fight, I think.
Chicago, New York. As good as Charlotte is, but you don't know what could happen. I think the teams is New York, Charlotte, Atlanta, And New York, Charlotte, Atlanta, and Chicago are the teams where, like, the other teams are the teams I have full confidence in. Anything could happen. Like, Atlanta can go crazy and be second place. You know what I'm saying? But
It wouldn't be out of the question, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
especially with Dwight Howard bringing defense to that team.
I'd probably give the edge to Washington to get into the playoffs over Atlanta.
Really?
I don't even think Washington's making it this year.
Yeah?
That's my
Really?
opinion. I
Okay,
don't
friendly
even
bet.
think
I say Washington gets in.
Gets in?
Yeah, I think
What's
they
the-
get
what's
in.
the-
Like
So
I'm
what's the
looking
teams
at,
you
like,
think is going
I'm
in?
looking at Cleveland, Toronto, Boston, Indiana, Milwaukee, Chicago.
Say it again.
Cleveland,
Yeah.
Toronto, Boston,
Yeah.
Indiana. That's a lock.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. However order.
Yeah.
Then we got secondary Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the Knicks. You guys are gonna laugh at me for that.
Okay, that's fine.
And then I'm thinking the fourth spot to
gave
round
7.
it out, it would be that was 7. So the fourth spot I'm gonna say would probably be Washington, or like the 8th spot. Sorry.
Will be
Okay.
Washington?
You can put those in any order you want. But
Okay,
I think
so-
that those would be the teams.
So
that-
Washington is
I
gonna.
think Washington can make it in the playoffs.
Okay.
But that's a big but based on Bradley Beal being healthy and that team staying healthy.
Yeah. That's a safe bet. That's a safe
Yeah,
bet.
so exactly. Like I see, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for
Any
that.
I don't
team-
think
any
Washington
team you
is
think
making-
doesn't get it. Okay, so if Washington doesn't get it, who do you think jumps in?
Oh man.
I know, right? It's a
See,
bunch
but,
of wild
but the
cards.
thing is, okay, so I'm gonna say obviously what we all agree with: Cleveland, Toronto, Boston, Indiana, right?
Yeah, that's a
So
lot.
we got those 4, right? So I think Milwaukee. My heart's telling me Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It's 5.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Charlotte.
Okay.
Right, that's 6. And then I'm gonna say, it's Chicago, New York, I guess.
Wow!
Wow.
He's going with his old voice here. The old.
But
team.
Atlanta could easily go in, but I just don't think they are, and I don't think Washington is either. So
The playoff teams from last year, I think, don't make it this year. Going to be Detroit and Miami for sure. So yeah, the first 4, Cleveland. I'm going to go with Boston, Indiana, Toronto in that order, and then the other teams that are going to get in, the other 4, I'm going to go with Atlanta, Milwaukee, Charlotte, and Washington. I'm going to say that New York and Chicago don't get in. I think that Chicago has a better chance than New York does. And then, yeah, Detroit and Miami don't make it. We'll touch on Miami actually really quick. They're obviously a total different team than last year, losing essentially everybody from their starting
I
lineup.
feel like Miami's done.
Do you think they're in contention for the top pick then? Like, how far low in the lottery
I don't think
they go,
they're
right?
that low either.
Because
I feel
Dragic wants out as well.
I feel like actually, isn't there rumors? There's trade rumors that Dragic. There's rumors that Dragic is going out west.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, they're about to blow it up, but like it hasn't happened yet, so I guess it's not worth talking on. But like I feel like Miami's gonna be like, they're not gonna be the bottom of the East, but they're gonna be like middle of the bottom.
I think Miami's
It'll
gonna
be like a 10-11.
Yeah.
I think Miami it's so bad. I think Miami's gonna be one of those bad teams for a long time.
Yeah,
I think once Whiteside gets annoyed with losing and he starts
Yeah.
requesting a trade, or they just say we're really gonna blow it up,
Yeah.
you'll get some. And Miami's a hard place to play. You have kids there. There's so many distractions. Like unless someone says like we want to come here, or they draft someone like they
Yeah.
did Wade, I
Yeah.
just don't. They're gonna be bad
It's
for
gonna
a
be a
while,
while.
man. Yeah.
And they don't really have the fan base either. The only reason why Miami had that fan base is because of their big.
And I bet they really regret letting Dwayne Wade walk, especially with Dragic and that Max who might be going out.
But
Wade
I don't
Ellington, Dion Waiters, Winslow, Derek Williams, Hassan Whiteside, then you got guys like Haslam. Josh Richardson had some knee surgery, so he'd be out for a month.
And even a face, people will come to a face like Wade's cool. Like you could drag some
who's the
people
face?
to
Yeah,
come
who's the face
and
of
play.
Miami
Like
now?
even, no, but I'm saying with
Yeah.
other players,
Yeah.
even like someone like even though we all say like he's getting up there in age, like let's say Durant was a free agent in that whole Golden State, he'd be intrigued to play with Wade and Miami.
course,
So what I'm saying is that
respect him.
yeah, exactly. So there's even having him there is helpful recruitment wise.
But
now you
he's
have
gone.
absolutely nothing.
Now he's gone.
You got
There is
nothing.
no face. Like,
Yeah,
there's
so
no-
Last team we're going to do real quick, Igor, you can kick it off. The Magic, I think this is a team on the rise. New coach with Vogel, and obviously Biombo is there. Igor, kick it off.
I mean, I think that's one team where I don't think they're getting a lot of publicity, but considering some, again, I got a soft spot in my heart for Biombo because of what he did in the playoffs with the Raptors last year because he was phenomenal. I mean, he got way overpaid, but again, he's going to help. I think I've heard talk of a lot of people thinking he's going to be one of the most improved players in the league and even go for that award, which I think is a bit of a stretch, but it could possibly happen. They got a lot of like young guys. I mean, in terms of Gordon and Fournier and guys that are on the rise. Do I think they'll make the playoffs based on that? I don't. I don't think that they have enough depth at point guard. Well, again, Peyton's okay, I guess, but I think them losing Oladipo is going to be a bit of an issue. I like Serge Ibaka. They won't be terrible, but they won't be good enough to make the playoffs. So I see them basically getting around that 10 to 11. In terms of Miami, I want to go back for a quick sec. I do agree With that, I think Whiteside is pretty much on the island by himself with Dragic now. I do like Justice Winslow. I think that's a kid that's going to be going to improve over the next couple of years and be really good. But again, they'll be like low end of the East. But I think Orlando's going to be all right, just not good enough to make the playoffs.
Justice Winslow, to me, real ck, is way too raw. He's too raw, but he's going to be good. I think he's going to be more of a hustle guy.
He's going to take a signing somewhere else.
Yeah.
Miami's done.
Orlando,
they're not going to make the playoffs,
of course,
and they might not even next year. But I'm saying like how
future looks
like
bright.
very like almost like a Minnesota, like how they are. It's exactly like that. I really like how they got Jeff Green. I'm a big fan of Jeff Green.
Jeff Green's a problem though. He's talented, but he's a problem. There's a reason he's on a different team every year.
I like him.
I've
really
always
like
liked his game. From back in Oklahoma City, I've always liked Jeff Green.
But I just think there are a couple of trades and signings away. Maybe one good signing saying I like that area. I want to go there.
Another
I like to go to Orlando.
maybe.
I like them. You know that right now all I see is a good defensive team, a team that can
shoot
play
really.
raw. Exactly, a team that can play rough and play hard together. That's all I see, and I don't see any talent to be enough. Like not offensively. Sorry, I don't see anything where you're in Game 7 down 3 where anybody here can
giving
help
the
you.
ball
Not
to
one
Walker.
person.
Yeah, exactly. You know what though? Vogel couldn't have picked a better team to play defense though. With Biyombo,
That's
Ibaka,
true.
Eric Gordon, even Alfred
Yeah.
Payne's pretty good. Like these, and Jeff Green when he wants to actually make an effort. These guys can defend.
Yeah.
Evan Fournier goes from 6-man starting lineup where they lost Oladipo.
He's their go-to guy, and that can't be
Exactly right. And
That can't
it's
be
going to be a big year for Mario Hezonja. You know, in the second year, I know Zane's a big fan of his.
Perfect segue to
And another like young guys coming through, right? So we're gonna wrap up the East then. There's no need to talk about. You know what? It would be nice to talk about Philly real quick. I don't know. I think Philly's another team that in like maybe 2 or 3 years, it's gonna be that team that looks like Minnesota right now. Obviously, especially with the injury that they have to what's his name? First overall pick. Yes.
Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons, right? Like he looks like a 2.0 LeBron almost. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna
I think he
LeBron
plays just
Brett
like Blake
Blake,
Griffin.
yeah, Blake too, right?
That's
Blake,
exactly what he
Ballhandler.
plays like. But he's a much better passer. But that's how he plays. I don't think he's gonna. I don't know why everyone was saying all this LeBron stuff. I watched him play third. I don't even think, even if he was healthy, I don't think he would have got Rookie of the Year. To me, it's gonna be the point guard, which I'm saying from now, the point guard from Minnesota that they drafted. I can't
Oh,
remember his name.
yes.
He is gonna be the Rookie of the Year. He's the most talented player to me. Out of all the
Yeah,
guys
that was Chris Dunn who
Dunn.
slid. Yeah,
That's the guy I think.
Chris
is gonna-
Dunn can ball.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree on that one.
Who do you think? You thought it would have been Simmons if he
I'm
was
gonna
healthy?
say, you know what? I'm gonna stick with Philly. I'm gonna take Joel Embiid to win Rookie of the Year.
That's my boy, Joel Embiid.
He's eligible.
Joel Embiid to win Rookie of the Year. That
If
guy
he's
is-
healthy,
he's finally
watch out for
healthy.
him.
He's
Joel
looking a
Embiid's my
monster.
yeah.
I said Dunn.
I can't stand his antics, but man, that guy can play.
I say done.
All right, we're gonna wrap with these. We gotta get through the West. We're gonna come back in a second. We return on the block. All right, we'll just start right back up because we don't have too much time.
Yeah.
We'll start with the West, and then we'll go through. We'll talk about Golden State and all that. We don't need to talk about too much. I'm gonna go through it everything real quick. I'll just go through and ask you guys some questions.
Okay, so let's do this and cheese it in. Can't you just put it up where there's the logo
Yeah,
there?
which team
first?
you want to do?
No, I just want to put all the West so I can know. No. Is it ready to do?
Go through it.
Okay.
I'm gonna start going now, anyways.
You start talking, huh?
You're not going to the gym after this, are you?
No.
Okay, cool. 'Cause we need you for hockey.
All right, guys, we're back. We're gonna start with the Western Conference. Ron, Lamar, and Igor.
Yep.
Guys, Golden State with obviously the biggest picking up Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Scary for the league.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does anybody challenge them in the West, or is it pretty much a Cleveland Golden State final?
I still think like it's not gonna be that easy for Golden State. They got to get adjusted to another ball dominant player.
Facing one-on-one defense.
Yeah, like San Antonio once again. Like a lot of people, they never create. Like San Antonio was never really like the glamour team, but they always managed to get it done. LA's got a major chip on their shoulder because it's basically. It's all or nothing right now for them. So I think Golden State, yeah, they're the favorite to win the West, but I don't think it's going to be a complete cakewalk. I don't think they're doing another 73 games again this year. So it's going to be interesting.
I don't like Golden State. I won't go for them ever. There's no podcast.
We're still waiting for that jersey.
Yeah, there's no podcast that we're gonna do where you're gonna hear me saying anything positive about them, except for maybe Klay Thompson, who I really like. Draymond's starting to get annoying. He's talking a little bit too much with the Durant thing. Okay, you got
some
him.
problems apparently too, like with the coaches and stuff too. Like,
Draymond?
Yeah.
So I just I'm not.
He's still kicking people in the preseason.
He is. He is.
I'm not going for that.
Doing his
team
best Bruce Lee impressions out there, but How do you feel about that, Igor?
Was that the impression?
No, how do you feel
Golden
about
State.
Golden State?
Oh, Golden State. Truthfully, I mean, if you look at that four-headed monster that they got going there with Clay, with Draymond, with Steph, and Durant, the only thing that I think they're going to have a bit of a problem with is they're going to have the Cleveland syndrome from a couple years ago, where now adding Durant and basically taking away touches from the other guys is going to take, I think, take away some of their, I don't know, I guess their poise, or basically just, I think they won't get off to the greatest start. I mean, I think they'll get off to a decent start, but I think the chemistry is going to take some time, just like it did with Cleveland when Cleveland got their monsters in there. So I think they're going to be successful. Obviously, I think they're going to be the first seed in the West without question.
Yeah.
I agree with Ron that they won't try to match that record from last year. I think, truthfully, come the playoffs and the injuries and so forth, to me, going for that record probably cost them, because I think, they could have given Steph some more time off. They could have given other guys some more time off. They kept going record.
Yeah, but were they tired, Igor, or was it just Draymond Green suspension that? You know what I mean? I don't want to spend too much time on it, but
we can debate the suspension. I mean, truthfully, I thought he should have gotten one earlier, because again, I think he's still doing it. I think he did it yesterday again. I think I saw on Twitter that he was doing that. I think he threw up another kick yesterday or the day before. He's still doing it. He should have gotten suspended for it earlier, to be honest. But to me, it was, again, I think Steph Curry was starting to wear down. I think he showed it towards the end of the finals that he wasn't the same Steph Curry from earlier in the year. Again, do they have the pieces to win the championship? Without question. I mean, you added possibly a top three, four player in the world to a guy that's probably already in the top two with LeBron. So obviously they have to be considered the favorites, but I think it'll take some time for them to gel. And in all honesty, even though they added Durant, because of adding Durant, they did lose a lot of complementary pieces, right? So it's going to take some time, but I think they'll win the West pretty at the end of the day.
I think without a doubt they're going to win the West. Moving on, Spurs. Are the Spurs better than they were last year? The Spurs, once again, people sleeping on them. They lost Tim Duncan, who played maybe 15, 20 minutes a game, and you're getting Pau Gasol, who's at this point of their careers, Pau Gasol is a much better player.
Yeah.
And they still got Aldridge, right? So what do you guys think about that? Are the Spurs a better team than last year?
Well, they want to trade Aldridge, right? From the sounds of it.
They do, but I think I think San Antonio is slightly better. They've gotten younger. Kawhi is still growing, and they still have Popovich, man. Like arguably one of the best coaches in NBA history. And watch out for San Antonio, man. They're gonna give a lot of teams the business, man. Like a lot of people looking at them like they're old, or like for some reason people always ignore San Antonio, but not the team to ignore, man. They're gonna give guys the business, man. Like Kawhi, like they still have their core. Like they still have Patty Mills. They got Parker. They got Ginobili. Who like Ginobili, Parker aren't guys that you're gonna really expect much. Simmons too.
Simmons can defend. We saw him last year.
He can. Like I mean, like San Antonio's really great at phasing out the old and bringing in the new, but not doing it in a rushed manner.
Yeah, and David Lee, we saw that he can still give something this year. Dwayne Dedmon's another 7-footer that can give you minutes.
Yeah.
I think that the Spurs are still going to cruise to 60 wins. I think that they're going to get 60 wins. Moving on, we don't have much time. Clippers. My team, I don't know what else to say about them. Like they want to give this one more shot. I don't know how long they're going to do it for. And hopefully they hope that everybody, Chris Paul's healthy, Blake's healthy, not punching out trainers.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Clippers? Another year finishing third or fourth, obviously.
Make it or break it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be it that's all I'm gonna say about Clippers. Make it or break it this year. They're done if they don't get somewhere. They don't get to the finals, they're done.
To me, they're almost like the Raptors of the West. They always do good. They do okay in the season. I just don't think they're going to do anything in the playoffs. The team they have. I love Chris Paul. I wish he could do well, like win something or just leave and go somewhere and win a ring somewhere. But they're not doing anything.
They still, what? I like the pickups. They got Mo Spades, who they've never had a big coming off the bench or scorer that with some size. Mo Spades is really going to help. He's talking bad about Golden State now. He's letting a lot of secrets out of the closet.
I don't respect all that, man. Like,
neither do I.
If you break up with your girl, just keep it moving. You don't need to throw dirt. You don't need to throw shade.
You don't want to send those videos to anybody.
Yeah, be the bigger man. Go to a better team and perform. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't rate that. I don't rate that at all, man. Like
Alan Anderson they picked up too.
Anderson's solid too. Like he used to play for the Raptors as well. I mean, he's like that guy's not going to win you a championship. Most Spades is not going to win you a championship, but exactly, it's depth.
They have the starting lineup. We know that. It's just depth, and they still don't have that small forward. Memphis, Lamar, you can start with Memphis. I saw you checking up on them.
Yeah, there was just obviously Vince is there, so I have to hope they do well. But I don't like their roster. I honestly. I don't even think they're making the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah. If they do, I'm happy. You guys watch Vince play, but I don't think they're making it.
I think that they cruise easy. Igor, Memphis making the playoffs?
No, truthfully, I had a soft spot for them considering how badly injured they were going into the playoffs last year, and they still made it. I mean, if a guy stay healthy, I mean, I can't see why not. I don't see the new coaching philosophy is kind of interesting. I think they want to bring Zach Randolph off the bench.
Yeah, they are.
Talking about being him sixth man of the year or something, but to me, he's still good enough to be a starter.
Yeah.
Chandler Parsons, another guy that I like, but he's often injured. It all depends on health. They have Marcus Gasol's injured again. Again, Mike Conley. They got a lot of good pieces. They should make the playoffs again in that 7-8 spot. But again, it all depends on. They're kind of like the Washington of the West, in my opinion, where they have a lot of talent, but can never seem to stay healthy.
Yeah, James Ennis, remember him in Miami. He's going to be coming off the bench for them. Jermichael Green at power forward, who had some nice minutes for them when they didn't have a soul that could walk. They had to throw him into the starting lineup. And Brandon Wright, I'm always a big Brandon Wright fan too.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can stay on the court as well. Let's move on to Portland. Portland's a team last year that surprised everybody, probably the biggest surprise of the season. Not only just sneaking into the playoffs, but getting past, I think they got past Houston in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, they make it through, and Lillard, MVP candidate, we know that. CJ McCollum was the most improved. You don't want to sleep on him either. And Alan Crabb got paid. This team, they can ball. How do you guys think? It's going to be tough. You can't sneak up on teams like you did last year. People know that you're a solid team now. Do you guys think that they get in?
I like them though. I think they're making the playoffs. I really like them. So there's not much where I can comment on them, like whatever. It's just I see them play. I like how they are as a unit. Their two best players play very well together. Actually, friends, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going for them to make
a lot of pickups. Ron, you want to touch on that?
I can see them making it. I mean, shoring up the small forward position with Evan Turner, as well as adding Festus Ezeli. That's a pretty good look, man.
They have a lot of bigs. They got Plumlee, Aminu who can shoot the three, Myers Leonard, big stretch five, Noah Vonleh, Festus Ezeli. They have a lot of bigs.
Plumlee and Leonard, they've been there though.
No, but I'm just saying they added Ezeli and
Turner.
Evan Turner.
Yeah. And Myers Leonard was hurt all of last year, pretty much. He didn't play in the playoffs either. Yeah,
Turner's a really good addition for them. They're gonna be in the playoffs for sure.
They might challenge further. in the third or the fourth.
Because I don't know about that high, but they're definitely be there.
Well, who knows?
Exactly. Who knows? Because you have a superstar in Lillard on your team.
They remind me of Boston. They're the Boston
shoulder.
of the West, in my opinion. Just so much depth. They play the right way. They're fun to watch.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good comparison.
Agreed.
That's a good comparison. I'll take it.
Because after Golden State and the Spurs, really, who is a lock? Houston's a team that we're going to talk about now. But there's the Clippers and Portland, and obviously OKC. We're going to talk about them too. But losing Durant, they're not challenging for the third spot, are they? Even you don't think.
OKC's going to be a good team.
They are. Okay, let's go OKC right now.
And they were seconds away from getting Rudy Gay, who don't get me wrong. I'm not thinking he's a. I think he's a
still, it's not a bad piece to have on their team.
A very good piece to
Very
have,
good
especially
piece
for that squad.
And he's gonna know I'm not the primary scorer.
Well,
I can't
be happening anymore. But I'm saying if they could get one trade like that,
we know that Rudy Gay's on
the
the
sky's
block.
the limit.
They got Oladipo too, which I think is an amazing pickup. I
Oladipo.
love Oladipo's game. And man, Westbrook is cheese.
Yeah.
He's
the whole team is mad, but he's
exactly Westbrook, and we know how he plays when he plays angry.
And he will keep. And the best thing about him is he'll keep them angry until they meet their end.
Yes.
It's not going to simmer down, right? So they might even have a statue in there that they attack every time they go into it.
How the Raptors pound the rock, they're gonna have a pound Kevin's
Step on
face.
the jersey or something.
Yeah, something like that. But OKC, I don't think they won't be the third position, but they'll definitely be in the playoffs, and they're gonna be a team to watch. That team's gonna be exciting.
That's another team that's stacked up on bigs here. Steven Adams, he has a rolled ankle. You got Adams, you got Cantor, Sabonis in the draft, who I know Igor liked. We'll let him talk about him. Ilyasova they picked up, Collison, McGarry, and they got Joffrey Laverne from Denver, who could get. He was another 7. They had too many 7-footers in Denver. He can play too.
I didn't know they got. He's a good player.
These are good pickups.
Yeah.
Igor?
In terms of OKC, I think Westbrook now knows obviously that it's his team. I like the Oladipo pickup. I think he'll work well there. They have a lot of talent. To me, just to go back to the original point, I don't see this. I think Jay said the Spurs will lock for 60 wins. I don't see that particularly. I think they'll actually take a step down because of Again, I think the age factor, and it'll show this year. But in terms of OKC, they'll be. I would say they're probably a fourth to fifth seed still in the West. I think the Clippers will be better than them if they're healthy. But I can see them being around there. I like Julius Randle, like you guys mentioned. I think Enes Kanter still has some potential that he really hasn't shown. I think he'll develop into a better player. And again, since it's now Westbrook's team, I think the motivation is there that they're really gunning for the Warriors. Yeah. And they're gunning for Durant. Yeah. I think they're going to do everything possible to get that matchup in the playoffs, and that'll be must-watch TV.
Russ could be a potential MVP.
I was just gonna ask, does Russ win the MVP this year?
If he could get them to at least
he's gonna get them to third. That's the thing. If he gets them to third, I think he wins it.
Yeah, he'll win it. If he can get them to third,
because we already know how he's coming. That guy's getting buckets, rebound. Like he's
still attacking the rim in the preseason.
He's stat stuffing all season.
But they won't care if he gets fifth.
It won't matter.
Sixth.
Yeah, exactly.
And he won't get a triple double, but I can definitely see him getting maybe like 27, 8, and 9 or something like that. Right? We know he's gonna get close.
That kid's scary.
Ex-OKC, it's been a while now, but James Harden, Houston, they limped into the playoffs, a lot of injuries, had some decent reinforcements. Eric Gordon was a big pickup for them. He's another guy who's usually injured, but who doesn't get injured in New Orleans, who we'll talk about soon. So maybe getting out of New Orleans helped him a bit. They got Capella starting at center, who's going to give them the Dwight Howard stuff minus the bitching. Ryan Anderson at the power forward is going to be another big thing for them. How far do you guys think Houston gets?
Not that far. They're going to be I'm just going to be real quick on them. I think they're going to bottom out the West. Like they're going to bottom out of teams in the playoffs. Like they're going to be
7-8,
7-8, if that.
I personally think they're going to be upper there, but I personally can easily see them losing they're losing first round. I can see that happening. I can picture them record wise how they
think top
with the
4
scoring.
maybe.
Yep, 3-4. That's what I kind of think.
Igor?
Oh, someone to say 3-4.
Yeah.
I think just
no way. No way they end up 3-4, but
I think they can get to 4. Maybe not 3, but I think they can honestly get to 4.
Really? Wow. I think the team goes as James Harden goes. Obviously, I like Patrick Beverly. He's injured right now. He's a very good player. Clint Capella. To me, they're expecting a lot from Eric Gordon. And Jay said it was a whole New Orleans factor. To me, it's again another guy like Bradley Beal that gets injured way too often. Again, they have a nice team, but it's a team where you just don't see. I can't see them going for 4. I think it's a team that at best probably finishes 7th, 8th. And to me, it's also a team that could probably easily. Actually, you know what? Ryan Anderson, I like him too.
Ryan Anderson's good, and he can rebound as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see them again, 7th, 8th team at best, but I can also see them bottoming out and not even making the playoffs.
The thing with Houston is we know they're going to lead the league in 3-pointers, and they had guys that couldn't even shoot the 3, and they still led the league in 3-pointers. So now, like I know Lamar's a big Corey Brewer fan. I know that you're pretty big on Ariza too. I like both those guys. They're 3-and-D guys. Yeah. With Anderson, Gordon can shoot the 3. We know that. So with Harden dishing, driving and kicking, these guys are going to be open for 3. And there might be some barrages at times that just overwhelm teams.
That's just my opinion. I'm just going by what I'm seeing, how they played before, and the potential of what I'm seeing. I'm saying it. I'm not even putting Gordon into account. I personally don't think he's gonna do that well. Like he's been injured for too long. People still think he's gonna turn into the guy that used to jump over people's head in when he was on the Clippers.
I still think he can get 15 points though.
Yeah, but he's always just hurt. When a guy was at people, because he was a good shooter, people were forgetting he was like a big time slasher too. Yep. So when you take that away and then you're just a shooter, and it's not like he's like he's a good shooter, but it's not like. So if he can come alive and do good, then I would guarantee they're going to be in 3rd or 4th. If I'm not guaranteeing it, that's just my
opinion.
Only
on his health.
Yeah,
I think
on him. Yeah, I would guarantee it, but I just don't see him doing it. So I'm just assuming, he could.
I don't know, man. I'm not really sold on them.
7-8, you still think?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not really sold on them, man. And I don't know, man. I'm not really a big fan of Harden as much.
We know that. New Orleans. Let's talk about them. 2 years ago when they had that Golden State collapse when Curry hit that fadeaway 3 over Davis in the quarter, go to overtime. New Orleans is a team last year obviously got bitten by the injury bug. Picked up Lance Stevenson, who we thought was going to China, but he's staying in the NBA. They're going to need some reinforcements because they did lose some guys. You guys think that the Pelicans, you think Anthony Davis can just take this team on his back? Assuming he stays healthy, which is another huge question mark.
His back isn't injured. But yeah, exactly. That's all you, Igor.
Truthfully, again, I like some of the pieces. I mean, I think Anthony Davis, again, when he's on, I think he is a top 5 player in the league without question.
Yeah.
You know, I have a soft spot for Buddy Hield. I know Jay doesn't like him too much. I think Buddy's going to be a pretty good player.
I forgot about him. I'm not his biggest fan. I just don't think he's going to be great. That was the only thing I had to say about him.
Yeah, so again, I like, I think Drew Holiday could be a pretty decent point guard when he's not injured. It's a team that I was considering how much depth that the West has. They won't make the playoffs, but they'll be fun to watch. I think they'll be probably a 10th or 11th. But again, they need to step up in terms of they need to make some sort of progression. And again, Anthony Davis needs to stay healthy. But I like the Unabomber. I mean, he's a talented kid. There's no doubt about it. Just got to stay on the court.
I think they have no chance. I think even if Davis played all 82 games, they would lose. I think they're one of the most boringest teams to watch. Right, like this roster. I think the only reason I'm going to give them any notice is because I like Lance Stevenson and I want him to do well. I feel bad that he almost had to go to China and this is the only team. I just hope what he did, because I hate LeBron, what he did against them was just a dream to me. Everything he did, the blow in the ear, the going in the huddle, it was a dream to me that he was the only guy not acting scared. So I just hope he does well, but that team they're washed. They have no chance.
They're washed, yeah.
For me, they're the same way. Yeah, I think they're an 8 or 9 team, and the guy that people are sleeping
8 or 9,
I think. Yeah,
to make the playoffs.
Yeah. I think they're going to fight. I honestly, I'm not going to say who I think gets in because we'll talk about them next. Yeah. But so I have New Orleans at 9 then. But I think that they will challenge for the last couple of games to try and get in. Okay. Because you got an MVP guy in Anthony Davis. Solomon Hill is a big pickup for them too. Yeah. We saw in Indiana he can play. They got guys still. They got Terrence Jones who they picked up on a minimum. They got Ashik. They got Langston Galloway's going to be their backup. You got Drew Holiday, Tyreek Evans, guys that get hurt. Lance Stevenson, a guy I'm saying look out for who I really wanted the Raptors to take in the second round, but they got Siakam, who's kind of similar. Check Diallo from Kansas. He reminded me of a Biombo, and I see the way that he's going to work early in the preseason. He's a hustle guy that's athletic too. I think that he's going to have, if they're going to the playoffs, he's going to be a guy that people are going to know about in a couple months. So I think that, like I said, if Anthony Davis, I can't trust him staying healthy for 82 games. For that reason alone, I say they go 9.
If the Pelicans can do anything better than 10th, then the Raptors are winning the NBA championship.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I can't tell you how bad that team is. I watched them, and Davis isn't playing 82 games. I said if they play 82 games, they still won't. He isn't going to play as many games.
He hasn't played.
Okay, if Anthony Davis plays 75 games, you don't think they get in?
No, he could play 95 games. They're not getting in. But I'm talking. I'm more surprised. I'm more surprised that you think they're even gonna get right there.
I think so.
But we'll talk about that.
You know what? Maybe at Christmas we'll just touch on that. Where
but we can see the guys left. There's no way. But keep going.
Okay. Sorry. Well, Buddy Hield. They have guys that are gonna come in. These are all young guys that I think they're gonna come through for them. Are they a boring team? 100%. But I think they're gonna switch it up. They got different players now, right? Anyways, we talked about them. I say 9, 8 for them. Really 9. A team I want to talk about that we all want to talk about, Minnesota.
Yes.
Exciting.
Now I have Minnesota getting in at 8. I think this.
I have them too. I have them too. No, but here's the thing. Okay, can I go first?
Go.
There's just things I gotta say. Number one, I hate sounding like that guy, but there is nobody alive that liked Towns before I did. I don't care what anybody says. I just don't like to look like a bandwagon. I don't want to look like a bandwagon, so I don't promote him because everyone's going crazy. So I have to back away. But man, I tell you, there's nobody. I said, especially, I'm like, he plays like Duncan, and now Garnett's there, and Garnett's giving him that anger. Now he has the best of both worlds. He's gonna turn. I told all my friends, this guy's going to the Hall of Fame. I said it even as a rookie.
He's got range. He's got range.
Yeah,
He's been sinking threes right now.
Yeah. So to me, them making it, I have them. I'm for 8th place. I have them. I really like Utah too. Yeah. So to me, them making it in is solely based, even though he's not the best player on the team, to me is how much Zach improved. If he's going to sit out there and be like a Terrence Ross that scores 30-some games, I see his score sheet. Sometimes he has 28 points. Next game he has 4 points. That can't happen. If he could just be a consistent like McGrady when he was on the Raptors behind Vince, because obviously Wiggins is the guy and Towns is the guy. Yeah. If he can just be a consistent, reliable guy, he doesn't have to score 40 a game, which I can tell that's what he's trying to be, that kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But if he can just not give, I don't want to see 6 points and 5 points on his stat sheet ever again.
Maybe like a more athletic, but just in terms of player, maybe like a Paul Pierce kind of guy. guy who's like a really good player and borderline superstar, but not really a guy that, well, Paul Pierce maybe.
There's no excuse in a 48-minute game, a young guy like that with that talent, to score less than 10 points in a basketball game. Yeah. I don't know why I'm looking at his stat sheet and seeing 7 points. That's inexcusable to me. I think can't score 5
he's a
baskets.
passive guy. Yeah, remember even when Kansas, the last college game he had, I think he scored 6 points.
No, not Wiggins. I'm talking about Zach.
We're talking about Zach.
Yeah, Wiggins should be scoring 20 a game. I'm talking about Zach. Okay. Zach as that
Zach
third
was
guy.
The guy that I was high on. Yeah. I think that third guy, now that I want to talk about Shabazz Muhammad, he's the guy that I've really seen take that next level. I remember when he was coming up, top players were talking about him maybe like a top 1 or 2 pick in that draft. Then there was age question, but Shabazz Muhammad has put it together. They got Towns, Gorgie Jang, who I really like too. He can shoot. I never knew he could shoot coming out of Louisville. Chris Dunn, Rubio, and Tyus Jones. I think Rubio is going to be gone soon. They're just looking for someone to take him.
Because of Dunn.
Right? And Dunn, and then like I said, Tyus Jones, another guy who won that title with Duke. He can ball. He's a young guy, but he can ball. Igor, where do you think Minnesota finishes up, and what do you got to say about him?
See, I'm really high on the Minnesota team. I think they can finish as high as, I got them as high as 5th, to be honest.
I can see that.
Because I think they can 5th, 6th.
Yeah, I can see that.
This is a team that's really on the cusp. Like, I know Lamar went off about his love for Carl Anthony Towns, and truthfully, at this point in time, if you had to pick one young player to build a franchise around, I think it would be Towns because of what he showed last year. He's going to get better and better, and considering you're going to get progression out of Wiggins, Dunn's going to be a major player. Levine should get better. This is a team that is going to make the playoffs this time around, and it's going to be, I think, a serious threat in the first round. I can't see them making major waves in terms of past that, but it's going to be a playoff team. I think it's been a long time for Minnesota, but to me, they're a guaranteed playoff team. I'd be stunned if they don't make the playoffs. And not an 8, I'm talking 5, 6.
Okay.
They have that kind of talent.
This is what I got to say about. Now, I just had this flashback right now. I remember I talked to Zane. This is probably like 6 years ago. When OKC came in, it was their first year. They played the Lakers in the first round. And I told Zane, I said, yo, watch out. I said, OKC is going to win this series. I think they took them to 6 or 7. I see Minnesota as that new OKC team that from like 6 years ago. With like 3 well, you got 2 for sure, Wiggins and Towns. And maybe Dunn is that third guy. Maybe that first year like a James Harden coming off the bench that can score and handle the ball. I think Minnesota is going to be a deadly team. And in a couple of years, they're going to be, like I said, an OKC with the West, like they were for like the last 3 years. I think that they have enough star power. They have enough guys coming off the bench, Payne, Jordan Hill. Like these guys aren't stars, but they can do their job. And that I think he's Serbian. Nicholas Bajika, the 7-footer that can shoot threes. Like they got guys that can stretch the floor, guys that can play D.
And they got a great coach.
They do have a great coach.
But I liked Sam. The reason Sam got fired was because of how talented this team is, and they believe that they should be somewhere. But the issue, it's not just the young, the youth of them. It's the issue is that you see the inconsistency where you'll see Zach go, like I said already, he'll score 20 in a game and then score 7. You'll see Wiggins score 30 points once in a whole month and then score 18, 17. That's inexcusable. Exactly. They give the ball to you 24/7. He's an amazing post-up player. I think he's like top 5 for the guard-wise. Yeah, he's very good at posting up and doing moves, like an Elijah kind of thing. But what I'm saying is that's inexcusable. Wiggins there should no way a month should pass and you score 30 once. Now you have Towns who can score 30, so now you have an excuse.
If Wiggins comes to light, he needs to come to light because he can average 25 points a game.
Yeah, there's guys that there's pieces that they have to be in. You had Westbrook doing his thing. You had Durant doing his thing. You know what Ibaka can do, so you know it. These guys are not doing what they're supposed to do. Towns is definitely doing it. But Zach and Wiggins has to do their part. What are we going to do? And they're not doing consistently, which is the only reason to me Sam got fired. He's a very good coach. To me, anyway. I really like him. I liked him in Toronto. He's passionate. He works with his team.
He wasn't bad. But I'd still take Thibodeau over.
And we know that their defense is going to be scary.
Yeah, but he's not bad.
Minnesota's defense will be scary with Thibodeau. Speaking of scary defenses, I think probably the best defensive team in the league, we're going to talk about it right now, Utah Jazz. Utah didn't make it last year. Favors maybe the best defensive power forward. You don't have them make it?
I don't have them on my list to make it, though.
I don't know.
But I could be wrong.
They picked up Joe Johnson, right?
Joe Johnson, you know how he is.
But he'll come alive in the playoffs, right? That's the guy you want in the playoffs. Exactly. Yeah. Rodney Hood's another guy who went to Duke and slid a bit in the draft, but George Hill, this team can play.
Yeah, I watched them play the other day. They weren't even really trying.
Boris Diaw, another championship guy they added to the team. Yeah. Rudy Gobert, to me, he's maybe the best defensive center in the league.
Yeah, I'd see them maybe like if I didn't pick them in there, but I actually know what.
Alec Burks coming back from injury. Like they have so many players. And they're all
Very
defensive minded. They get enough to score.
Very good.
I think I had them finishing 7th. I think that they get in there. Igor.
I don't have them making the playoffs. I like Favors. I think Dante Exum's gonna be a good player. Again, Rodney Hood, like you mentioned, George Hill, Hayward. He's a guy that he's an all-star level, depending on when he's healthy and so forth. I'm flashing back. Which Raptor dunked on Rudy Gobert last year? Was it DeRozan?
It was DeRozan. That was a filthy dunk.
It was DeRozan. Again, Gobert was good center. I would say the best defensive center in the league, but I think again they're going to be a team where they're going to be fighting for. I think along with New Orleans and the last playoff spot or so, along with Houston. But I don't see them making it in because I think a lot of the teams that were beneath them last year got significantly better just based upon the fact of the young other teams, the young guys progressing. Like Minnesota, I don't see the Jazz making it.
All right, we'll move on then. We talked about New Orleans and Minnesota. We talked about Utah. Let's go to Dallas. Yeah. Dallas is a bit of a wild card. They picked up some of Golden State's trash, I guess. You know what I mean? Like they got Harrison Barnes on a max deal. He's not a max guy for me, but we know what the league's going towards.
What's that, Igor?
I think Harrison Barnes is going to be the bust of the offseason, getting all that money. I don't think he's going to be anywhere the player they think he's going to be.
I was really worried in the playoffs when, remember, they gave him some shot. I think he airballed a 3. He bricked a couple in the finals. He looked like he couldn't handle any pressure. And being like a 6th guy on the team, if you can't handle it, how are you going to be the top guy? Mm-hmm. Andrew Bogut's a pickup that I really like, though. I think Bogut is, if they do get to the playoffs, which I don't think Dallas does, I think Dallas finishes like 10th place. Bogut is going to be a big reason for that. Another year older for Dirk Nowitzki. Dwight Powell, the Canadian, I like him. Yeah. But you still got Darren Williams running point. Wes Matthews, I'm a big fan of. Harrison Barnes, and then off the bench you're going to have Barea, Seth Curry, and Devin Harris. What are you guys thinking about them?
I don't. First of all, I just can't stand how everybody. I don't know why Barnes became the scapegoat. Every time I hear people talking negative about him, I think he's a good player. Obviously, the money he got is. I don't know if people thought that meant he was going to go there and win and shoot game winners and be 25 point per game guy. That's not the issue. Play good defense, which he will. Don't make errors. Getting an air ball on a 3 is not like an error. That's a stupid. You should have hit the shot. But I don't picture. He's a smart player, and I don't picture him going out. I think he's going to do better than he did in Golden State. I just don't think he's not like the go-to guy. To me, you need a game winner. You go to Nowitzki still. To me, you need someone that could just do those things. He's that guy to me. I think we had a debate last year. We talked about it I remember I asked you guys who's better between him and Terrence Ross. I remember when we had a little argument about that.
Yeah. So it's not really a question anymore.
No, who do you
Barnes
think
is better?
Okay, fine. But you guys thought it was Ross before.
I think Ross had more potential to be a better player, but he never reached it. And that's what it is, right?
I like Barnes, so I think Dallas is going to do well. I think they're going to do well regardless to me, but how far they go up and like how amazing they look on playoff wise, I don't really know what they're going to do. But
they're not a playoff
season
team.
wise,
They're a playoff team.
No, I'm saying to me they're a playoff team depending on how Darren Williams.
They're going to make it to the playoffs.
Really?
They're making the playoffs, of course.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to say no. We'll go through our lineup. We got 3 teams to get by. We're going to let you talk, but let's go to Phoenix. We don't have much time left. Phoenix, a team I really like, and obviously I think we've all kind of grown to like Devin Booker, who looks like the real deal.
Yeah. He is.
He's a good player, but oh, sorry, you want to go?
No, I'm just gonna say you can call that boy Holyfield because he is the real deal.
Yeah. Maybe like a young Ray Allen. He looks like almost. I'm sorry to say, but he looks like young Ray Allen.
He's good, but the Phoenix is not going to do anything because the way they're playing. It really reminds me of. I remember, and it used to really bother me the way because Ray Allen was there at the time. The way they acted with Durant when they were in Seattle still. Where it looked like they just wanted everything to do with Durant. Like you take, it was almost like the whole season was into developing him. Take all the shots, do everything you want. They got rid of Ray Allen. It was like the team looked like they were going to be absolute. I thought Durant was garbage back then because they were forcing him to shoot so much. And Booker, I'm watching him in the preseason, and I think they're trying to turn him into a Steph Curry. Like too fast. I don't know. Maybe he'll turn into
it. No, I think that whatever you're thinking about him, I think is all.
No, he's good. I'm just saying that they're putting all their thing into it. But they have Bledsoe, who's a good player. Yeah. You still have Knight. I still think Knight's a good player. He does Shaq and full stuff, but he's still a good player.
Brandon Knight is good. Brandon Knight's good.
Yeah. So, but then it looks like they're. It's almost like they want to develop Booker so they can just restart with him, which is fine, I guess, if you want to do that. But your team ain't gonna do nothing when you do that.
They brought back 2 retro Phoenix Suns. They're bringing back Jared Dudley, who's a veteran guy who hit the three and play
Yeah.
defense. I like that pickup. Not going to playoffs anyways. And Barbosa.
Yeah.
Barbosa left for more money, and hopefully it's
Yeah.
gonna be nice to see him in that orange
They'll
again
do
this
well,
season.
but they won't do nothing.
They're not making us the playoffs, but they're not far. Like they're one of those teams that's on like a.
They remind me almost of an Orlando, maybe in the East, where it's like they're coming up.
They're not even close to that. This roster you see right here, there's going to be 3 guys on that team 2 years from now. This is not the team that they want. These are pieces.
true.
But they want Booker to be the guy, and they're going to try to build with him. Barbosa will probably keep him there for veteran
he's a
leadership.
veteran
Certain
guy,
guys, but Dudley for veteran leadership. This core, Bledsoe's going to just sit there.
Marquise Chris, the guy they just drafted at power forward.
Okay, maybe he just got drafted,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Bledsoe,
overall, I think.
Bledsoe isn't going to just sit there and just watch Booker taking all the shots. He thinks he's a good player. He's going to leave.
This is the same problem Phoenix had a couple years ago when they had
Like all those
Knights,
words. Yeah, they had
and the
Knight,
Boston
Dragic, all the, yeah.
And now I just see
Isaiah
Isaiah Thomas. Tyler Ulis is a guy. Do not sleep on. He went to Kentucky. He was a point guard last year. He can boss. You got Bledsoe. Bledsoe and Ed are always hurt, but you got both of them. And Ulis. Then you got Archie Goodwin, who's another pretty decent athletic guard. Barbosa and Booker. Those are 6 guys that are all in the rotation going for 4 spots.
And they only want Booker to be the guy. So you think all these guys are sticking around? They're not going to just sit there and watch it. He's still 19 years old. He's a good
young,
player, very good
he
shooter.
is, exactly.
But does he think they're going to sit? You think Bledsoe thinks Booker's better than him? No.
These guys got too much pride.
Yeah,
for that.
Knight doesn't think Booker's better than him.
Yeah.
Potential-wise, Booker is better than them. He
Yeah.
has a great shot already.
So,
He's
yeah,
19.
shot.
But they're not going to sit there and watch the development of him while they sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
These guys are all gone.
Or
Guys
demand
that-
a trade, exactly.
Guys that are here for the long term are, like I said, Marquise Chris and Dragon Bender. 2 guys who they took both in the lottery. I think they're both top 6 picks. Alex Len they took, I want to say, like 6 overall a couple of years ago. He's a decent center. And Tyson Chandler is still kicking around there.
Yeah, I like him.
Igor, thoughts on Phoenix?
I think they're pretty much what Minnesota was about a year or 2 ago. There's a lot of good pieces. I agree with you in terms of the potential of Devin Booker. In terms of, I do see that Ray Allen quality in him because he's such a good sharpshooter. And again, a lot of potential there. Again, to me, it's a thing where the West is pretty deep. Yeah, you bring back guys like Barbosa, but Barbosa's seen better days. I really like Eric Bledsoe. Again, another guy that had his issues with injuries and so forth. But again, it's a really good young team that in a couple of years, once the younger guys start developing and Booker starts getting more and more comfortable, they'll be on another team that's on the cusp. But right now, considering the West is so deep, you can't really see them making the playoffs. But they'll make some strides, and I think Booker will really start getting to that level where in a year or 2 you can see him as an all-star.
He might be on an all-star team, exactly. That's what I was just going to say, Booker.
Yeah,
he might be coming for that all-star spot. A segue here.
By the way, just quickly on Dallas. In terms of Dallas, I agree that to me they're just too old. I think that team like 4 or 5 years ago would have been a playoff team, but the way that they're structured now, all those guys are in their last legs. They won't make the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll do some friendly. Dallas doesn't make the playoffs this year. Does DeMarcus Cousins get traded? Before we talk about Sacramento, is this the year he finally gets traded?
I think unless they really are going to blow up house, because they're obviously getting Rudy gone because he's just talking too much. I think they might as well start fresh and just wait for him to leave and then just be. They're already.
You
a
got to
bad
get
team.
something for him. That's the thing. Do you trade him, or you trade him now and get something, or do you let him walk? You don't
No,
want to let
but
him
then
walk.
who's gonna? If this is last year on his contract, right?
Last year he might have an option for next year, which he probably
Okay,
have,
but
though,
okay.
yeah.
So if he gets traded to a team he doesn't like, what team is going to give up good pieces for?
You get a lottery pick for sure, though, is what I'm saying. Do you want anything, or do you want to let him just play it out? If I'm a GM, I'd probably. You're not making the playoffs.
You've been doing bad for so long.
You're not making the playoffs. No, and you need to get something for him. You can't have a Chris Bosh thing where it's like you let him walk for nothing and set you back another 2 years.
They're not going to. There's nothing. There's no first round pick that's saving this team. DeMarcus. You already know how many years I've been talking about him. He's the only reason I didn't claim Towns because I already have a big man. It's not fair. So I'm not going to look like one of those guys. But DeMarcus is my guy, and I can't.
Amazing.
And I don't know what they think. Like I don't know what if they had him and couldn't get it done. You had all these
You can only
pieces.
get
You
worse,
think
you're
you can, there's nothing. So you might as well just start fresh, and that's all you can do. First picks.
It would have been nice to send him to Boston before they picked up Al Horford. You could have got some pieces for him, right? Maybe last year that would have been an ideal situation.
Boston. Well, they have something going good in Boston.
That's what I'm saying.
They want to run the
Yeah.
risk of bringing that guy in. And
Boston's my team, and I love DeMarcus, but I wouldn't want him going
Maybe
there.
the Knicks
too much things can
You
go
can see
wrong.
the Knicks picking him up, right? Like that's a
Yeah.
team that takes on characters like that.
Yeah,
You
and they
know?
got Phil Jackson. So
I can see them. I can still see them trading him to Boston because I think that the Brooklyn pick this year is going to be really again in the lottery probably top 3.
Brooklyn's pick.
I can see them making a package with Boston and shipping them off there.
Okay, another reason why I think the writing's on the wall for DeMarcus. I think they drafted 2 centers this year, and they drafted Willie Cauley-Stein the year before. Yeah. This year you pick up Scala Labissiere, who I wanted the Raptors to take from Kentucky, who slid way too much. And in the lottery you took this guy, Papagiannis, the Greek guy who's like 7'1". So you got 4 centers, really 5. You got Cousins, Koufis, Cauley-Stein, Labissiere, and then Papagiannis. They bring in... Tolliver's there and Matt Barnes. You got guys like Caspi who've been there for a while. They got a Flalo who I like. They have some guys that have been around, right? They got Jordan Farmar, Ty Lawson. Like
that team's done.
They're done. Right?
That team's done.
We got 2 teams I want to talk about real quick. Let's go with Denver right now.
It's an exciting team, man.
Denver, they got
Denver.
Mr. International, right? Like we could call him Pitbull soon, right? Mr. 905. But how do you guys think they got Moutier there? Jamal Murray, the Canadian. Let's talk about him. I really like Jamal Murray.
I said that. Yeah. He is the. If it wasn't for Dunn, I would have picked him to be my rookie.
I would have taken him over Dunn. And Minnesota had the option, and they took Chris Dunn.
Those are my two favorite. Those 2 and the guy from Milwaukee are my 3 favorite rookies. Those are my 3 favorite rookies. But this is a good team. I think Murray. Yeah. Right now he's not, but I like him better than Moutier. I like him. Yeah. I think he should be a starter, but whatever. I guess they have to go with the other guy. But this team's okay. They're not going to do horrible. They won't make the playoffs. I really like Barton. That's one of my. He's like my
6 man. Yeah,
he's starting right now, right? He started.
Yeah. So him or Jamal will start. Yeah, maybe even Gallo could play shooting guard. So I'm really sure exactly.
He's like a Brewer to me, like those roughneck, hardworking, blue collar type guys.
Gallo, if he stays healthy too. Like I feel like Denver's a team that could get in. Like they could get in too.
Really?
There's a lot of people that
have
are
a lot of talent, but I don't think they get in. I think that they're going to be in 11 or 12.
Like like Gallo, like he's always injured.
Gallo and Chandler, I like both of them. But
I've always loved their games, but they just can't stay healthy for a long period of time. Fareed is dope. Jokic is really nice as well too.
Fareed's still kicking around. I think he gets traded too this year. There's just too much log jams there, right? Maybe the Raptors make a move for Fareed. There's been talk about that for a while. They're filling that power forward. That would be a nice pickup.
Get rid of Patterson. Get rid of Patterson. We don't need 3-point shooting big men anymore. We don't have time for that. We need some stuff like what Biombo brought for us. That's what we need.
And they got Jokic and Nurkic, two big guys that that are physical guys.
7-footers that play really well. And they look really good in the preseason.
And they picked up Hernan Gomez also in the lottery, another guy who people are high on at power forward. Mike Miller's there. Is he going to be coaching this year? Because I don't think he can still ball. Igor, what do you got to say about Denver?
Again, a good young team in terms of. I think Moutier is going to be a star level talent. I agree with Ron. I mean, Gallinari, I really liked him when he was a Knick. He had a pretty good first year when he went to the Nuggets. Always injured. Wilson Chandler, same kind of deal. A team that, again, has a lot of potential, but again, in a bogged-down Western Conference. I'm going to be particularly watching because I want to see what Jamal Murray does. Because I don't know where that kid fits in, what kind of caliber player he's going to be in the NBA. So I'll be watching his progression, but it's a team that, considering how good the West is, I agree that they'll probably end up in the 10th, 12th seed. Won't make the playoffs, but they'll be entertaining to watch. I think they'll play a nice up style, a good style to watch in terms of up tempo and so forth. And again, I'll be watching with Moutier and Murray. That could be a really good combination in terms of how that fits in for years to come.
Igor, you can't see the smile on Lamar's face right now, but I'll send you a screenshot after. He wants to talk about the Lakers right now. He's got a big grin. Let's go, Lakers. Let's go, Lamar. What do you
they're so over. I don't know why. Because they got Luke, they think they're going to do something. I'm watching them. They actually almost think they're gonna win like a title. I'm watching them during the preseason, and the way the crowd is behaving and the way they're behaving, they actually think they're gonna win.
It's a movie.
They're insane.
It's because they think that Kobe still plays. Probably. They probably don't know that Kobe's retired.
I have a feeling because everyone, whatever you guys are all probably gonna disagree with me, but I just gotta make sure I say it with passion. So every year that we do this, we know I think Russell's garbage. I do not think he's a good player. I think he's gonna fade away into the dust. They're putting all this hope into him, and he can hit cut shots sometimes. Yeah. But he's a basketball player, and he'll hit a shot. Okay, fine. I don't want to see this ice in my vein garbage when you're turning over the ball, you can't do nothing, and then you hit some lucky shot, and then you're acting all cocky. I don't like it.
And he's a snitch. It's bad for team chemistry.
I just don't like. I don't like the team. at all. I don't like the confidence around the team. I want Luke to do well, but this isn't the unit. And they really, I hear the commentators when I'm watching the preseason games, I'm hearing everything, and everything is so positive about Russell, like he's really going to take them somewhere. He may be like a okay point guard, but if you're putting him in that he's going to save us category, absolutely not. If they were just putting him there, then maybe.
All I'm going to say about the Lakers is top 3 lottery pick. That's what they're gonna get. That's what they're gonna get. They're gonna get a top 3 lottery pick in the draft this year. And
you guys think Denver has a better season than they do?
100%. Denver's had a way better season.
Of course.
100%. 100%.
You know, the Lakers were in big trouble when that signing of Eugene Long ended up being like big news.
That's what I was gonna say. They brought back Yi from China, right? Like.
Yeah, that ended up being the biggest. You know what? Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle. I kind of disagree with Lamar. I don't think that Russell is garbage. I think Russell's a decent player, but again, he's going to take some time. And again, he's made a lot of mistakes. The kid's got a bad reputation already. He can shoot. He makes a lot of mistakes, but he's young. So I still see the potential there. Is he going to last in the bright lights of LA? You never know.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about him lasting.
Russell, they overhyped Russell. When Randall came here, they act like he was going to be the second. Remember when he first got drafted and Kobe was working with him? They act like he was going to be the second coming. They keep boosting these guys and making them get big-headed. The only guy who's the guy they drafted this year again? Who they said? They said he's the next draft, and he's the only one I have trust in right now because he's acting humble and playing like the way he's looking. But every time they draft someone, they boost them and make them look like there's something.
It's
to me, so I'm not into them.
I disagree with what you say about Russell. I was even from the day he got drafted. I was arguing with Zane about how Russell. I thought that he was garbage. I just didn't think he was going to be like an all-star kind of guy. I was like, he'll be an average point guard in the NBA. He can shoot. That's one thing that I realized about him, and he's kind of crafty and shifty. Is he being an all-star?
No.
In his career, when some of these guys are gone, he'll probably have a couple all-star appearances.
Oh.
Is he going to be some savior? No. But I still think that especially on this team, I think he'd be able to drop 20.
He reminds me of the way people used to argue with me about Michael Carter Williams, about how good he was going to be. And when he was getting Rookie of the Year.
No.
But when he was getting
Williams
Rookie of the Year, I said he was garbage. And now he's on his third team now. And everyone was telling me, he's going to be good. He's averaging a triple-double.
The Lakers will be better than they were last year. You picked up Luol Deng. Say what you want. He's going to help them on defense. He'll be able to shoot. This team can't really shoot. And Mozgov, another guy who people kind of like sleep on, but he's a center who will defend and he'll get you 10 boards. They will be more respectable than they were last year. Are they coming out of the top 3? Maybe not. Bottom 3.
Mozgov's a great additional piece. If you're looking at Mozgov to do something for you on his own. I think
he's
you're
better
right.
than Sullinger.
Yeah, exactly.
And look how we're acting about him. So what I'm saying is, what you're saying respectable. No, it's true. It's true. But listen, what you're saying about Sullinger. I want you to make sure we're clear about not Sullinger.
We got the camera on. We're gonna remember this.
Okay, hold on. But this is the difference when you say respectable. They are going to lose the same or more amount of games. They're just not going to get blown up by 20 or 30.
They'll be a more competitive team.
Okay, fine. But they're going to lose all their games the same way.
Yeah.
They're just not going to get killed.
I think that they'll get to 22 wins or something. 20 wins.
What did they win last year?
20.
Last
Probably
year?
18, I think.
They won 18?
I don't even know.
So 22 is respectable.
No, but like you said, they will be in games. They won't lose every game by 25. They'll fight for, you know what I mean? They'll lose by 10 instead of 20. I always... Was that even? Swaggy P, no, I'm done with him. He had that half season with the Clippers when they beat Memphis, and that was it. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
So let's say the teams that we think is going to make it in the West.
Go through right now. Who you guys got in the West?
Okay, because I heard you guys saying some ridiculous things. Let me tell you, I'll even say numbers for this one.
Okay.
I got Golden State number 1.
Yeah.
I got Spurs number 2 still.
Yeah.
And hopefully when they trade Aldridge, they get someone better and don't get worse. But if that just sticks around, we'll say them number 2. I say number 3 is Dallas. Even you guys
You're going to eat those words.
Number 3. Yep, you said they're not making the playoffs. I'm putting them at 3. Okay, exactly. So that's 3. I got Clippers at 4. Mm-hmm. I got Houston at 5. I got OKC at 6, and that could change depending on who they're going to trade. One little piece, they could fly up there. I got Portland at 7, and then the Wolves and the Jazz is who I'm undecided about 8 spot. That's up to Zach and how consistent those other guys are going to be. What I wanted to say is just missing, obviously under, is Grizz, because I just don't, the injuries and little certain things, I don't think Grizz are going to make it. And when you said, Joe, about Pelicans just making it, Pelicans are not better than Denver, so they're not going to come in 9th. They're not better than Grizzlies, so there's no way they can come in 10th. I mean, you said they're going to at least get 9th.
I just dropped them down one spot.
So what I'm saying, so those are 2 teams for sure, and I don't even really think they're better than the Suns, but probably they'll get a better record. So what I'm saying is when you're talking about those teams, I just don't even see how Pelicans can get in 9th or 10th.
My top teams, I got Golden State, San Antonio, Clippers, and Portland. Golden State and San Antonio for sure. Clippers and Portland I feel like interchangeable. And then in the second half, in the second half of the playoff outlook for the West Coast, I'd say OKC, Timberwolves, Dallas. I want to say Memphis.
That's
but
it's so tough doing these up.
For some reason, I feel like I got to say Houston. But I'm going to go with my gut instinct. I'm going to say Memphis.
All right, I'm going to go with your mind right now. This is in order. I got Golden State first, then I got the Spurs. I got the Clippers in third, OKC in fourth, Houston in fifth, Portland sixth, Utah 7, the T-Wolves with that last spot at 8, okay? So who I have missing? I have Memphis missing, I have New Orleans missing, and Dallas. I think those 3 teams, I'm not exactly sure, 9, 10, 11, they're going to be separated by a game. Mm-hmm. Then I got Phoenix, Denver, Sacramento, and the Lakers. Okay. And I think, you know what? I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm going to put it up because I think this is how it's going to finish up. Dallas is not making the playoffs this year. I'll tell you that right now.
And you have 2 teams that could possibly not make it. Milwaukee
so who do you think
and Utah can possibly not make it.
There's no Milwaukee, Minnesota.
Minnesota and Utah could possibly. I put them both at 8th, but I'm choosing. I don't know who.
So who do you have out of those teams? You have the T-Wolves out?
I'm going to choose T-Wolves, but I'm saying it's between them and Utah for 8th.
So you're 7, 8, 9. Who is it?
Well, okay, so I guess Utah has to be my 9. So my 7 is Portland, my 8 is Wolves, and Jazz has to be 9.
Igor, you want to run through at least your 8 right now? Who you got coming in?
Yeah, I'll try to do it quickly. So I got Warriors at 1. I'm going to take the Clippers to finish 2nd. I'm going to take San Antonio at 3. I'm going to go OKC at 4. I'm going to go a little high on Minnesota. I'm going to take them at 5. The Trailblazers at 6. 7 will be the Grizzlies. And in the 8th spot, I'm going to take the Rockets.
So did you put Portland in there or no?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so Portland finished in 6th.
Okay. So then you got New Orleans and Dallas missing out, right? Is there anybody else that
New Orleans, Dallas, the Jazz missing out, the Kings, and obviously the Lakers.
Okay.
All right.
You got Grizzlies, right?
Grizzlies out.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Grizzlies in?
Put the Grizzlies in, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the Grizzlies in. I got Grizzlies finishing in 7th and the Rockets in 8th.
So the 3 teams that could be possibly playoff teams that I have missing are Memphis, New Orleans, and Dallas.
Yeah. And
those are the teams I don't think get it. And the bottom 3 for me is Portland, Utah, Minnesota.
Well, Portland's making it, but you're going to see right here is where our lists are going to list.
Utah, you think Utah?
Anyway, it can go either way, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep these. I'm keeping mine.
Really quickly as we wrap up, I just want to do one quick thing. MVP, who do you guys think wins it this year?
Ooh.
Because Durant and Curry are going to steal votes from each other. That's the only thing, right?
That's
so I think
true.
both those guys might be out.
They're going to
I
watch
say Westbrook, if George does what he says, then it could be George. I don't think it's going to be...
George is going to have to finish 2nd in the East.
I think MVP's coming out of the West this year, and I'm with you on that. Like I said earlier, I think it's going to be Westbrook. That guy cheesed right now.
Yeah. And a sleeper pick, if you guys want to do that too, for like someone who might come up and sneaky in MVP.
Well, that's what I said, India. Paul George.
Paul George, I agree with Lamar on that one, yeah.
Igor?
In terms of that MVP in both conferences?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say that it definitely will be somebody on Golden State. I think it's going to be, I'm going to say Curry on Golden State. In the East, it's hard to go against in terms of LeBron there, but I think guys, Paul George could possibly get in there if Indiana has a deep run. I know I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to say it's going to be at a step for LeBron.
Lamar's laughing at me because I wrote down James Harden. But
God,
no, I don't know. I think he's my sleeper pick. Honestly, I think he's my sleeper pick. I have 2 sleepers though. James Harden, for them, he has to get to 3. I think that's the only manageable spot Houston can get to. But honestly, I don't know. Like Houston's not going anywhere in the playoffs. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, that's
but in the regular season, it's the regular season though, right? Like okay, look at Golden State. Nobody's winning in Golden State. My MVP pick, I'll say right now, is going to be Kawhi. I think that Kawhi maybe comes late this year. If the Spurs get 2nd, I think he can win MVP.
Okay.
My 2 guys that are sleepers are going to be, well, Russell Westbrook isn't a sleeper, but he's one of my guys, and Harden's the other guy. I don't think, can LeBron win it? Yeah, but I just think he's going to limit his minutes this year. He's getting older, right? Like, I think him and Paul George is another guy who could fit in, but if I had to say one guy to go, Kawhi this year. I've been riding with him forever. I think with Tim going out, he's going to take a leadership role as well. I think that maybe this is Kawhi's MVP.
There was
a finals MVP.
I read a report too where Pop was like basically breaking it down with the whole Aldridge situation, how they might be trading him, and Pop was like, "Yo, like it's Kawhi's team."
Yeah.
Like it's Kawhi first, all you guys are
of course, yeah. But even like you look at Golden State, there's 4 guys who can be the guy, right? So it's not like Lamarcus coming in and he's like, yo, this is my team. He's not that guy anyways, right?
I know someone who knows Aldridge, and they asked me, like I told him I was going to do the podcast, and I asked them last week if I could say anything, and they told me not to, right? But now that it came out, now I can speak on it. But I know someone that knows
him that wants it or the team
he
that
doesn't
wants it?
like, he was really angry thinking, because when they were talking to him saying, you're going to be the guy, like how Duncan was the guy for us. And then when he got there, he was like just almost being a sulk and being a baby the whole time, saying that they're not running any plays for me, that everything's about Kawhi here. So to me, which is strange, is like what I was also hearing from my source, even though I'm not a reporter, but obviously it's true because everything came out. But also what I was hearing is that he was like almost saying, I wish I went to Phoenix. So when I'm hearing things like that, it's like I think, which is another reason he left Portland, because he was angry. Brandon Roy was the guy, then Damian Lillard was the guy, kind of stuff where I saw that on the score. So when I heard from my friend that he wanted to go to Phoenix, I'm thinking in my head, this guy only wants to be the guy. He's not concerned about winning right now. So if you want to go to Phoenix and score 25 a game and everyone say you're the best and you're losing every game, then so be it. But he's not into winning, clearly.
Because I was going to say, if you're going to the Spurs, though, you would think that he is about winning, right?
Clearly not into winning. And I heard that he was very high on going to the Raptors, but he says that our taxes, or the way he's going to get taxed with his money, he's not giving. He's going to have to give up almost like $20 million, so he's not coming. But he was interested in coming here. So if he leaves, I don't know where he's going to go, but he has no choice because he's under contract. So wherever they trade him, he has to go. Right?
I want to say he's 27, 28, right? So like
he's like 30.
Oh, he's not 30.
He's 30, 31. He's in his 30s. I just don't know if he's 30.
The only thing I want to touch on is Pau Gasol is there, who I like, and they're going to complement each other, which will take away from both their points. But Pau Gasol has a 2-year deal, and we know that he's going to regress as well, right? So it's Kawhi and it's LaMarcus's team. They can both easily average 24, 25 points a game.
They can.
If he's not happy with that, then
that's the
what
thing.
are you going to do?
He's
right?
not really like it's Kawhi's team, but like it's not like I feel like LaMarcus is like a 1B. You know what I'm saying? Like
and you could argue Kawhi is, but you could argue Kawhi is
he
too,
could
right?
be a 1B
both
too.
guys are 1B in my opinion.
LaMarcus isn't that far off. LaMarcus is chill, dog.
He's a very big. After hearing this, it matches up with what I was feeling. But he has a loser mentality. When I saw him come to the Spurs, which everyone's like, "Oh no!" He came in almost 15 pounds overweight. Do you remember what he looked like when the season started?
He didn't have a good start.
But you see how overweight he was? How could you come to the Spurs thinking you were going to be the guy and you were 15 pounds overweight and it took you to an all-star break to lose the weight and start getting your stride?
Very Boris Diaw.
It was. To me, you're a loser. Like even if you thought you were going to be the guy, why not be in the best shape of your life to take over the championship team?
Exactly.
So I feel nothing for him. I really liked him, but you won't hear me talk about him again. That's a loser. You had a good opportunity here, and now the Spurs have to trade you and hopefully get some pieces where they can do something. Because I want Spurs to do well. I want Pop to do well. So we'll see what happens with that trade. He's definitely getting traded. So
you think it's a lock that he gets traded this season?
He's requesting it. They don't want no one there.
It's not out to request, but they said they're looking at options. But then he also came back and said he might stay this year.
If they're vocal, if San Antonio's vocal, because that's a team that doesn't really talk about it. Nothing gets out. So if they're talking about it, he's as good as God.
I think he stays this season.
Yeah.
So I guess
unless they can't.
Igor, you think he stays?
Truthfully, I mean, when do you ever hear that like rumblings out of San Antonio about trading a guy?
Never.
Both there's fire, and I think there is something wrong there. Whether it was the issue that Lamar mentioned about him coming in overweight or something. Because you never hear the Spurs talking anything get out in terms of about the Spurs. So to me, there's something wrong there, something behind the scenes.
And it came out of nowhere.
And I mean, if that's the case, where I think simply I agree that it is Kawhi's team and he is playing sort of a secondary role. If by mid-season, if something's not going right there, or the team isn't doing all that well, I wouldn't be surprised if they tell them.
He'll be gone by All-Star break.
Really? I'm not even.
Well, the one thing about the Spurs why I won't guarantee why he's leaving is they won't make any hasty decisions.
They won't trade just to trade him.
They want to trade him, that's for sure. But unless they get equal value, they're not letting him go. They'll let him even rot on the bench if they have to. So
I don't think it's going to get that toxic. I honestly think it's the Spurs. I think that they're going to make the best of the situation. I think he's going to shut up and he's going to have a big year. I think so. But we'll see what happens.
If he was smart, he would.
Yeah, right.
He should have stayed in Portland then. They were on the come up and they were good. If he was there, they would have did amazing. And I can tell even in the playoffs, he wasn't even mentally there. He was like a robot going through the motions. Yeah. So he's not about winning or any. I don't see any compromise in him. I see a baby that wants it his way, and that's it. You could have won a champ. You could win with the Spurs.
And it's funny because you would never think of him as that guy, right? He's not.
I know he doesn't seem like that guy.
He's pretty calm.
And whatever. Raptors should have picked him first overall instead of Bargnani.
We're going back now. All right, guys. 2016-17 season starting off.
The same draft.
And NBA starting off tomorrow. We're going to revisit this stuff. Talk to you guys in a couple of weeks. Take care. Have a good season on the NBA on the block.
Peace.